should have done this last week. We should have done backward bends because it was like Valentine's weekend. But we're going to do that this weekend. So Valentine's, the reason we do Valentine's backward bends is because backward bends opens the heart. And you know, heart is related to love and everything. So we're projecting that love to each other. We'll work our way towards the wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana. It's a challenging pose. If you're not ready for wheel, you could just do bridge pose. We'll be doing bridge en route to wheel pose. We'll also do camel. If you have any issues with wrists, avoid the wheel, or you could use blocks. And if you're using blocks, you have your hands on the blocks, but the blocks have got to be supported. So, for instance, you want them against some heavy furniture or against a wall or the edge of a fireplace, something like that. You can bring your hands onto the blocks, and that makes it easier on the wrists. And also it's easier to pop up when your hands are on the blocks because you haven't got quite so high to push yourself up. You're slightly supported with the blocks. Another thing you could do is you could put your feet on something a little bit higher than the ground. And if you have any back issues, and it bothers the back, try wheel on your toes, then that relieves the pressure on your back. Anyway, we'll get there. Close the eyes. Sit tall. And breathe. Just focus on the breath. Start taking longer, deeper breaths. As you inhale, feel that air coming in, filling the lungs, expanding the ribs. Exhale, make the exhale just as long as you inhale. Long, slow, deep breaths. You can hear the air flow through the throat as you inhale and exhale. So what's happening with Ujjayi breathing, which is what we want to do when we do the flow, is you want to restrict the flow of air slightly through the throat. And by restricting that flow, you can take longer breaths. And you can also hear the breath, hear the breathing. It's not like it's super loud, but you should be able to hear your own breath. Some people call it ocean breath. So you're making the sound of the ocean. Keeping the hands on the knees, just bring focus attention to the shoulders, bringing one shoulder forward, up, back and down. Do that a few times. And then work on the other shoulder. We hold a lot of tension in the shoulders, the hips, so shoulder work, hip work is good. Both together, whatever feels good. And then become totally still. Place the hands behind the head. We're going to do a little bit of isometric work to strengthen the neck. And you're trying to push the head forward, and you're pushing the head back into the hands. So I'm using a lot of arm strength here, but it's interesting how strong the neck muscles are. And you're breathing. And then you just relax. And you bring the hands back down. And then you bring the right ear to the right shoulder. So we're stretching out the side of the neck. And then we're going to bring the head a little bit more forward, just stretching out a different area of the neck. And then we take it backward, and then we bring the head up to neutral, and we take the head over to the other side, and we start bringing it a little bit more forward, and then backward, up to neutral, turn the head in one direction, letting the movement follow the gaze, center, and then the other direction. Back to center, and then chin to chest. And again, we bring the hands behind the head, but this time we're just letting the neck relax, trying to get the chin in a little closer. And then we bring the head back up, and we carefully take the head back if your neck is good, and then back to neutral. Always remember, if you take the head back, take it slowly, controlled. If you have any neck issues, don't take the head back. Keep yourself nice and safe. Bring up one of the arms. I'm bringing up my right arm. I'm retracting the shoulder back a little bit, and then I'm going to pull that arm in towards me, and I'm just finding an easy stretch. I just start off easy. Inhale, getting tall. Exhale, I start going a little deeper. Inhale, and a little deeper on the exhale. And especially on the inhale, you're trying to soften those areas so the body isn't resisting, the body is working with you and letting you go deeper into the stretch on the exhale. And it's interesting, sometimes you find a lot of resistance and then all of a sudden everything just lets go. That's a really good feeling when things let go, the muscles just totally relax, and they seem to think that they know what you're doing, and they start to cooperate rather than fighting against you. Other side. Inhale, getting taller. Exhale, starting to pull that arm in a little closer. And release. Interlace the hands. Extend the arms forward. Bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Reaching up, looking up. Interlace the hands behind you. Head up, look up as you hinge forward at the hips. And start bringing the arms up towards the ceiling. And then slowly come up. So backward bends. We want to open the front of the body to be able to go into a deeper backward bend. So it's opening the chest, opening the front of the legs. So lunges are good for that. And any backward bend like cobra, upward facing dog, camel, bridge is good to open the whole front of the body. Come onto your hands and knees. Inhale, belly down, head up. Exhale as you round the back and tuck the chin. Inhaling into cow, exhaling into cat. Inhaling cow, this is a backward bend, and then into cat, and then this is like a forward bend, back is rounded. Hold cow, belly dropped, head is up, glue the hands to the mats and pull the hands towards the knees, and you're going to feel that core working, and breathe. Relax, neutral. Tuck the toes, come into downward facing dog. Bring the feet a little bit closer to each other and start walking the dog, bending one knee as you straighten the opposite leg. Take your time here. And you're going to feel this in the back of the legs, maybe the calf muscles, maybe the hamstrings. Bring the right leg up to the ceiling, extended down dog. Stack the hips, right hip over the left hip, bending that top knee, keeping the hands solidly on the ground. Can you open the hips a little bit higher? And we switch. Top foot joins the bottom foot, other leg comes up, deeper down dog, stack the hips, bending the top knee, pushing the hands into the ground. Top foot joins the bottom foot, we look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, knees bent, coming into chair, and then we come all the way up, come into a standing position. Standing position, feet slightly apart, and we're just going to swing the arms to one side and then the other side. Just get those arms nice and loose, and maybe tap the shoulder as the arm comes round, tapping the lower back with the back of the other hand, turning the head, so the movement's following where you're looking. Good way to warm up the spine. We're getting a little bit of a twist here. And then we start slowing down, and it's just like a spring. I always say this, just like a spring losing its tension. Still in the standing position. As you inhale and bring the arms up, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, just bringing the arms down. Using that Ujjayi breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Next time you bring the arms up, come onto the toes. Inhale on the toes. Exhale, come down. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now this time bring the arms up. Bring the heels off the ground. You're on the toes and you're going to hold it. So stay on the toes. Bring the arms either side. Extend to the side. Palms face the ground. Flip the hands so the hands, palms face the ceiling. And then rotate through 180, trying to get the back of the hands towards the ground. You're still on the toes if you can. And then we come down and we shake out. Just bring the arms across each other, one arm over the other arm. Just loosening up the shoulders a little bit and the arms. And then just dangle them, let them shake out, lean over to one side, let that hand get nice and floppy. Over to the other side, just let the arm dangle. And then the feet, so what we do with the feet, I'm just going to go in the shade here a little bit, and we're just going to shake the foot out, try and get that foot really loose. And you're going to feel all those leg muscles get a little bit looser as well. And then the other side. Easier said than done. Sometimes it feels like the foot is actually bolted onto the rest of the leg, but so we're trying to loosen up there. So you can get the hands floppy, feet is more difficult. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, look up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again, relaxing the head. Inhale, we come all the way up. And then come into mountain. Sun salutation A. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We walk into plank. Engage the core as you bring the knees down, chin, chest down. Inhaling into cobra. Hold cobra for a couple of breaths. Downward facing dog. Hold down dog for a couple of breaths. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhaling as you come up, halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, relaxing the head. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, back into mountain. Inhale, sweep those arms up, look up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we're back into plank. Knees down, chin, chest forward and down. Inhaling into cobra. Hold cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Down dog for a couple of breaths. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale as we come all the way up. Exhale, back into mountain. If cobra or up dog bother the back, just go into sphinx pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we're back into plank. Now this time, Chaturanga, you're bringing the whole body forward, you're keeping the elbows in, you're trying to drop the elbows to 90, and then you come into upward facing dog, which we're going to hold. Upward facing dog, similar to cobra, but the arms are straight, the hips are off the ground, knees can be down or up. You're really trying to open that chest, you're breathing, and then we transition into downward facing dog. Good backward bend. Down dog, push the thumb, index finger into the ground, pull the armpits towards the ground, look towards the feet, get the back neutral, bending the knees if necessary. If you can keep the back neutral with the legs straight, that would be good. And then, if you can, you start bringing the heels closer and closer to the ground. Eventually the heels are going to touch the ground. And you're breathing. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Come all the way up. And then back into mountain. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We jump or walk back into plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg up, extended down dog. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We come into warrior one. We hold warrior one. Come into a back bend if you want. So in the back bend, I'm interlacing my fingers, index finger towards the ceiling, and I'm looking up and breathing. Transition, other side, plank, chaturanga, elbows in, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, exhale we sweep that foot through, warrior one on the other side, adding a bit of back bend, taking a breath or two. Keep that back leg strong, feel the hip opening. And then we come into plank, and this time we hold plank pose. If it bothers the wrists, you can be on the forearms, or you could make fists with the hands. Don't sink between the shoulders, don't bring the hips too high or too low, you're in neutral with the hips. If you want, the knees can come down if you need to take a break. Right hand to center, side plank. So here top foot can be down in front of you, or the bottom knee can be down. Don't drop the head. More challenge is if you bring that top leg up, you're breathing. Plank, side plank on the other side. Take whichever option is good for you. And breathe. The more you push into the ground, the more you reach towards the ceiling, the lighter you're going to feel, I think. Chaturanga, up dog, make it a good up dog. Downward facing dog. Hold it for a few breaths. And then we look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward, knees bent. We're back in chair, and then we come all the way up. Inhale chair. Exhale folding forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga on these chin chest to ground. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Make it a good up dog or cobra. We bring the right leg up and then we sweep that foot through. We're back into warrior one. And then we exhale into warrior two. And we're just going to go a little deeper, keeping that front knee over the front ankle. And we look to the side of the room and we bring the left arm under the right arm, eagle arms. Feeling that stretch across the upper back between the shoulder blades. Regular warrior two, reverse warrior, and then we flow to the other side, coming into plank. Chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up and then sweep that foot through, coming into warrior one. Hold warrior one. Adding a little bit of a backward bend. Exhale into warrior two. Maybe going a little deeper. So we're looking over that extended arm that's over that bent knee. We then look to the side and we bring the right arm under the left arm, adding eagle arms. Regular warrior two, reverse warrior, and then we come into plank. Chaturanga, up dog, hold up dog. 2 or 3 breaths. Really opening that chest, looking up, engage the core. Back into down dog. And then we look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale folding forward. Knees bent. And we're back in chair. And then we come all the way up. Inhale chair pose. Exhale folding forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one. Bit of a backward bend. Warrior two. Reverse warrior, and then this time we're going to go back into warrior two. We're going to straighten that front leg, so both legs are straight. We're going to work our way into Trikhanasana. So we reach to the side and we bring that right hand down, left arm up. You're trying to keep that top arm nicely lined up with the back. You're engaging the leg muscles. You're lifting up the insteps. Take that top arm behind the back and reaching for the inside of the thigh of that right leg. And look up. Breathe. Bring the arm back up, back into warrior two, reverse warrior, and then we flow to the other side, into plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, exhale we sweep that foot through, we're back in warrior one, hold warrior one. Exhale into warrior two, reverse warrior, we're back into warrior two, we straighten the front leg, you reach towards the side of the room, reach as much as possible, you've got that hinge at the top of the femur, reach and then bring the hand down, wherever it lands that's the spot. Keep the top ribs as long as the bottom ribs, look up, keeping the top arm lined up with the back. Hand is lined up with the arm. We take that top arm behind, reaching for the inside of the thigh, and you breathe. We come out of that bind, back into warrior two, reverse warrior, and then into plank. Chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Hold down dog. Or if you want, actually let's just take a little breather, come into child's pose. Back on your hands and knees, thread the needle, take that right arm behind the left arm, resting on the arm and the side of the face. Now some of you, this is a little bit challenging what we're going to do next. Some of you might be able to do this, but if your limbs aren't the right length or if you don't have open hamstrings, it might be difficult. But what I'm going to do is I've got my right arm extended on the ground. I'm going to take hold of the toes of that left foot and really grab, a little bit of a tug of war there. And then I'm going to bring my left arm up, just like we did in Trikhanasana, reaching behind the back for the inside of the thigh. If you can't find the foot, just do that regular thread the needle. And then we come out, and then we're going to switch. So we start off on our hands and knees. We take the left arm behind the right arm, and you can just hang out here, you don't have to go any further. This is a nice stretch, but what I'm going to do is take that right foot, so my right knee is bent, I'm grabbing hold of the toes of my right foot, and then I'm starting to straighten that leg, and then bring the arm up and behind the back. And breathe. And then we unwind and we're back on our hands and knees and we come into downward facing dog. Look forward, jump or walk forward between the hands, inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, knees are bent, head is relaxed, and we come into chair. And then we come all the way up. So we haven't done, well, we've done a few twists, but we're going to do an extra twist. We'll do a chair twist. And then we're going to work on some maybe standing poses and lunges before we go into deeper back bends. Come to the front of the mat. Come into chair. And let's twist. You're going to twist to your right side. I'm doing the mirror image. So you're bringing the outside of your left arm onto the outside of the right leg. Palms are together. Then we focus on the feet. We take the left foot back, coming into a high lunge twist, crescent twist. Try and keep your balance. Sometimes we all lose our balance, right? If you'd rather have the back knee down, that's just fine. And then see if you can spread the arms, opening up a little bit wider. And breathe. We bring the hands back together. We bring the hands either side of the front foot. We're in plank, Chaturanga, up dog, looking up, opening that chest, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Actually, bring that foot back down, look forward, jump or walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward, knees bent, we're back in chair. And we do the twist in the other direction. Bringing the outer of the right arm onto the outer of the left leg. We focus on the feet. We take the right leg back. Crescent twist. Try and get a little deeper twist. And then if you want, you can separate the arms. Breathe. We bring the palms back together, either side of the foot, plank, Chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. And then we look forward, jump or walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, knees bent. We're back in chair. And then we come all the way up. Okay, getting nice and warm here. Tree pose. We're on the right foot. Bring the left foot inside that standing leg. Below the knee or above the knee. Don't push into the knee joint. Palms together. Relax the shoulders. Engage the muscles of that standing leg. Arms up whenever you're ready. So another nice backward bend is dancer pose. So if you want to try dancer pose, you bring the hands down, you take hold of that top foot. Keep the legs close to each other, close to midline. And we bring the other arm up and we start hinging forward. Take your time, try and keep your balance. And you're really pushing that back foot into the hand as you hinge forward, and you're reaching with that other arm, trying to keep that balance. Not an easy pose. You're breathing. And then we come out. I don't know, my balance isn't so good today. Tree on the other side. You're on the left foot. Right foot is inside the leg. Skin on skin is good, is helpful. It keeps that friction, stops the foot sliding down the leg. You're engaging those quad muscles. We bring the palms together, palms to chest, open across the collarbone, relax the shoulders. Arms up. You can hang out in tree, or you can try and experiment with dancer pose. You can take hold of the inside or the outside of the foot. You're pushing the foot into that hand. You're starting to hinge forward. You're breathing. This side's a little bit better for me. Keep breathing. And then we come out of the pose and we shake everything out. So as I say, lunges are good because they're going to really open the front of the legs. So we'll come to the front of the mat. We'll do a few lunges here. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We'll jump or walk back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, looking up. Downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. Back knee down. We're in a low lunge. You're fixing this front foot onto the mat, but you're trying to pull it towards the back knee. It's not moving. That's going to relieve the pressure on the back. It's going to let you go a little deeper. Arms come up and we look up. And you're going to feel that stretch in the front of the leg. Maybe go a little deeper. As you go deeper, you're still pulling that foot in closer, or trying to pull it in a little bit closer. Inhale, exhale a little deeper. Relaxing the shoulders at the same time. And then we bring the hands either side of the front foot. So I'm on my fingertips here. I'm getting nice and bouncy. I'm going to engage the core, and on an exhale, switch. Back knee down, we're in a lunge on the other side. Pulling that front foot towards the back knee. Bringing the arms up. Looking up. And then bring the hands back down, a little deeper. Maybe you can go a little lower, still pulling the foot in closer. And then we bring our hands down either side of the front foot, into plank, Chaturanga, up dog, hold up dog, bringing the whole body is slightly forward, opening that chest, engaging the core, the glutes, you're breathing. Exhale into downward facing dog. And then come into child's pose and just have a little bit of a breather in child's pose. So let's work on a little bit deeper backward bends. Let's start off on our heels. We bring the hands so the fingers are lined up with the toes. And we tuck the chin and we open the chest. Head goes back carefully. This is a nice backward bend. And then if we go a little deeper, we can bring the hips up. Feel that whole chest opening. And then we bring the sit bones down and we come out of the pose. Another good way to open the chest, by the way, is using a strap. We do that sometimes, but we're going to skip that today. Supported camel. We bring the hands and we support the lower back. A lot of time in backward bends, it's too much on the lower back. So we're trying to get length here in the lower back, and we're trying to open up the upper part of the 2/3 of the upper back, the thoracic area. So I'm supporting my back, lower back, I'm engaging the glutes, and I'm starting to lean backward. I'm trying to keep the hips directly over the knees. Head goes back carefully, and breathe. And we slowly come up and into child's pose. Okay, camel, full camel is challenging. You keep the hips over the knees. I keep my heels high, so my toes are tucked, heels are high, so it's easier to reach. If you can't get the hands to the heels with the hips over the knees, just do the supported. If you've got any back issues, just do the supported pose. You bring one arm up, you're keeping it nice and close to the head as you bring it to one heel. You bring the other arm up, try to keep it close to the head as you bring it to the other heel. So I've got my hands on the heels, I then shift the hips forward, engaging the glutes, and the head goes back carefully. I'm really grabbing those heels, a little bit of like a tug of war here, and you're breathing. And you're going to feel whole front body opening on this one. Glutes are working, keeping the back nice and safe. And breathe. As you come out, one arm comes up, head comes up as you bring the second arm up, and then into child's pose. Hang out in child's pose. Yoga is not about trying to get into the deepest pose you possibly can at all costs. It's getting into a deep pose safely and keeping the body from hurting. So if you're trying to do camel and it starts to bother the back, just do the supported camel, or just find some easier backward bend. You know, it's no competition here. But if you're ready, let's go into another camel, supported camel if you want, or regular camel. You're sitting up, you're high on the knees, hips are over the knees, one arm comes up, reaching for one heel, other arm up, reaching for the other heel. We shift the hips forward, we're trying to keep the hips over the knees. Head goes back carefully, we're engaging the glutes, and I'm trying to pull those hips forward. I'm really getting a good grip on those heels, breathing, opening the whole front body. Take 2 or 3 breaths. Keep the head back as one arm comes up. Head comes up as you bring the second arm up, and then back into child's pose. Now this time in child's pose, bring the knees close to each other and just bring the hands either side of the legs and bring the head, the top of the head to the ground, on the block if necessary, and just relax. And then we slowly come back up. Have a block handy. Bridge is next. And as I say, if you guys, we're going to work our way to wheel, but if you don't want to do wheel, you can just do bridge. We're going to go up and down into bridge a few times. Come up on the inhale, and then we'll hold bridge. Before you come up, push the lower back into the ground and then come up. You're going to do that on the inhale. Whenever you're ready, inhale coming up, exhale coming down. You're keeping the gaze towards the ceiling all the time. Don't turn the head. Inhale up, exhale down. This is going to strengthen the legs. Just repeat a few times. Inhaling as you come up, exhale as you come down. So next time we're in bridge, we're going to hold it. So inhale coming up, we hold bridge. We interlace the hands and we walk the arms closer to each other. Walk the shoulders closer. And then you're pushing the arms, the hands, the head into the ground. The feet are pushed into the ground. Make sure the legs are working. Legs are parallel, don't let the knees splay out. The glutes are working. If it bothers the back, just bring the hips a little lower, keep the back nice and neutral, rather than taking them as high as you possibly can. You're breathing. For those that want to transition into wheel from bridge, you just bring the hands either side of the shoulders. My fingers are pointing out slightly. I'm going to walk the feet in a little bit closer. The first wheel, I usually stay on the toes. Keeps the pressure off the back. Pop onto your head, reposition the hands if you need to, and then pop up. As I say, you're trying to keep the arms parallel, your legs parallel, head is totally relaxed. Eventually you're trying to straighten the arms, and you're bringing the chest away from the feet. You're lifting up. When you come down, make sure you tuck the chin before you land. Keep the neck nice and safe, and come all the way down. Don't pull the knees in yet. Take 2 or 3 breaths. Wheel, the setup for wheel is the same as it is for bridge. You don't have to go into bridge first. If you want to go straight into wheel, I'll pull the feet in a little bit closer. I'll come up, hips up, I'll walk the shoulders in as I bring the hands either side of the shoulders. My fingers are pointing out slightly to keep the elbows in. I'll then pop onto the toes, pop onto the top of my head, reposition the hands, and pop up. Now if your back is okay, you could start bringing the heels closer to the ground, and you breathe, and then you can push a little bit higher and just feel that opening. Head is totally relaxed in this pose. And then as I come down, I'm back on my toes, tucking the chin, and I'm coming all the way down. Phew, it's an energizing pose. After the last bridge or wheel, then you can bring the knees in and you can just rock. And then take hold of the back of the legs and rock yourself all the way up. Energizing pose, wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow. After backward bends, I always find it's good to do a twist. So let's do a seated twist. So let me do the mirror image. So bring the left foot in for you guys and take the right foot outside that leg. And then you can either hug the knee or you can bring the arm outside the leg, coming into a nice twist, and take 3 or 4 breaths in the twist. We unwind. You can circle through 360 if you want, or do it the lazy way, just switching the legs, taking the twist in the other direction. Remember to keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. If you're trying to leverage the arm outside the leg, your shoulders up like this, just hug the knee. You want to try and keep the tension out of the shoulders. Twisting in the other direction. And then we unwind. We bring the soles of the feet together. Trikhanasana. Holding onto the feet. If your knees are high, your back is rounded, you could sit on a block. I like to rock from side to side, and as I rock, I'm bringing my feet in a little closer, become more still, get tall, and then try and get the knees, the legs a little closer to the ground, breathing. Eventually the knees are going to come all the way down. So I'm using quite a lot of arm strength, and it helps to get those hips a little bit further forward with the strength of the arms. Nice hip opener, opening the inside of the hips on this one. And then we release. We cross the feet. We come on our hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Look forward, jump or walk forward. Take a seated position. Dandasana, staff pose. knees, toes up towards the ceiling. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, reaching for the feet, maybe use a strap. Keep the back nice and safe. You're trying not to round the back too much. I'm moving the hips. I'm rocking from side to side, trying to get a bit more opening in the hips. Inhale, lifting up, looking up, trying to get length in the back before you go a little deeper. Be careful with forward bends. If you've got a huge gap between the torso and the legs and your back is rounded, your chin is tucked, it puts pressure on the back. I would suggest you don't go that deep. I'd rather you stay higher and keep your back happy. Come up. Bring the hands either side. So reverse plank. With reverse plank, we keep the legs straight. If that's tough, you can come into tabletop with the knees bent. But I'm going to reverse plank. I lift the hips up. I then try and bring the toes towards the ground. I then open up and carefully take the head back and breathe. Glutes are working. Take about 5 breaths. And then we bring the sit bones down. We walk the feet in. We're back on our hands and knees. Plank, Chaturanga, upward facing dog, looking up. Make it a good up dog. And then downward facing dog. Hold down dog. And then look forward, jump or walk forward. Take another seated position. And then let's do the tabletop. So the tabletop, if you don't like the reverse plank, it's just like reverse plank, but with the feet closer and the knees bent, and you just bring those hips up. So it's basically this one, and the head can go back. So that's a nice alternative to the reverse plank. Come onto your back. Pull both knees in and just rock from side to side. Bring both feet to the ground. Feet are wider than hips. Arms to the side, and we just take the knees over from side to side a few times. We're just slowly winding down. Reclined pigeon. Bring the outer of the left foot onto the right leg and pull the legs in towards you. The foot that's close to you is active. And then we do a little bit of rocking. And then we switch. Outer of the right foot onto the left leg, and that right hand is going to go between the legs, the window of the legs, and we pull the legs in, activating the foot that's close, dorsiflexion, and we do a bit of rocking on this side. Full body stretch, legs extended, arms extended over the head, trying to get as much length as you possibly can. Trying to pull the hips away from the feet, and you're pulling the back away from the hips, getting length in the neck. To get length in the neck, just lift the head up, tuck the chin, relower the head. A side stretch, getting into that banana shape, stretching out one side of the body. And then we stretch out the other side. recenter and into Shavasana. Bring the arms either side, palms face up, eyes closed, totally relax, just letting the whole body get heavy. Just letting yourself sink into the ground. And just check out the body and make sure that you're not holding tension anywhere. Maybe moisten the lips, lick the lips. Start to wiggle the toes and the fingers. And then just stretch out the toes, stretch out the hands. And then just relax the hands and the feet. Stretch out again, hands, feet. Trying to get as much space as you can between the toes, as much space as you can between the fingers. Really stretch them out as much as you can, and then relax. One last time, stretching out the toes, stretching out the hands, stretch the toes out more and more, the hands out more, as much as you can, and then relax. Walk the feet in towards you. Roll over to your side with the eyes closed. Take 2 or 3 breaths. And then gently push yourself into a seated position. Inhale as you bring the arms up. Exhale as they come down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep the palms together, palms to the forehead. Namaste.